Aloha and welcome to World Awake TV. I'm your host, Sky Kubby, where we continue with the awakening protocols and discover how we can decalcify and awaken our pineal gland, the pea-sized gland that lies at the center of our brain that used to be almond size, that has shrunken and become calcified, and that is very important in our awakening of our consciousness. It's piezoelectric, which means light emitting. So when we have our imagination or our inner visions, we're activating and working with our pineal gland, what Decartes called the seat of the soul, that connects to our guides, to our higher self, to the greater expansiveness of our consciousness, which resides in reality. We are a spiritual being in reality that's created this body, is an offshoot of the spiritual realm. So really this is an extension of spirit, or this is the dream land. This is the dream world. That's why in World Awake TV we say we together are dreaming the world awake. So follow along with this protocol and see what we can do to awaken and decalcify the pineal gland. So let's dive right into the exciting potential and the hidden mysteries of the pineal gland. We're going to learn why we should decalcify it and how to do so, but first let's take a look at what makes this gland so special. The pineal appears to hold unlocked potential that the ancients seemed very well aware of. I mean, the Egyptian Eye of Horus actually contains the pineal gland embedded within it, as you can see in this diagram. Otherwise known as the Ajna chakra by the Hindus and the sixth chakra, or the third eye. Yes, your pineal actually contains tiny crystals that are piezoelectric, meaning they both respond to light as well as are bioluminescent when stimulated. So enlightened beings throughout time have always been depicted with this aura or this halo surrounding their head, and you kind of got to ask yourself, could the pineal be the source of these light emanations? The third eye is depicted as just above the brow, but really it's located at the center of the brain between the two hemispheres. Pineal gland inside the brain actually resembles, it looks like a miniature pine cone, which, as we'll learn, has major significance. Pine cones contain the Fibonacci sequence 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, like that of a seashell or any other biological creature that takes on this kind of spiraling form. And throughout history, pine cones have been a symbol of enlightenment. It turns out that the pineal gland is in fact a replica of the human eye, and modern science admits that it's just begun to unlock the true secrets of the pineal, which is the last gland to have ever been discovered. It's the most vascularized organ in the body, meaning more blood flows through the pineal than the heart. So they've actually called the pineal the atrophied third eye because it contains real photoreceptors, or rods and cones of our eye, as well as the nerves that connect to the same parts of our brain as our eye. So why would a gland in the middle of our brain be capable of detecting light? It's most likely that this gland is some type of conduit for our inner vision. Perhaps this is the seat of the silver cord that links us to our astral body when we go to sleep at night. So we want to talk about ways we can detoxify our pineal gland, and it's really essential as we awaken to our true nature and our higher connection to our higher self, especially in today's world filled with all the toxins and pollutants. We need to decalcify as fast as possible so that we can start functioning at the optimal levels of awareness, intelligence, and consciousness. We'll cover exactly how to do that and what foods and supplements to eat, as well as some practices that I'll share that can help decalcify our pineal gland and start awakening our third eye. Number one, we've got to decalcify the fluoride from our pineal. It's the center of our pineal is actually water filled. As I mentioned, the pineal is supposed to be soft, but by age 12, most people's pineals have become hard and atrophied. So this is mostly due to fluoride. The water in the United States has been heavily fluoridated for years. I mean, 97% of the people in the whole world don't drink fluoridated water. Fluoride calcifies the bones in the body, and it's found at the highest levels inside the pineal. So even if you don't drink fluoridated water, it still absorbs even more through the skin in our body. If you've ever gone in a pool or had a shower, most likely you've absorbed large amounts of fluoride. Here's a quote by Dr. James E. Rhoda, who's a DDS biological dentist. Fluoride has been banned in China, Austria, Belgium, Finland, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Hungary, and Japan. All these countries said fluoride is ineffective and should not be used. Here's another quote by Dr. E.H. Bronner. In the Catholic Mirror in 1952, he said, "As a research chemist of established standing, I built within the last 22 years 3 American chemical plants and licensed 6 of my 53 patents. Based on my years of practical experience in the health, food, and chemical field, let me warn you, fluoridation of drinking water is criminal insanity. Sure, national suicide. Don't do it, even in small quantities. Sodium fluoride is a deadly poison with no effective antidote that had been found at the time. I've got one for you, though." He said, "Every exterminator knows that this is the most efficient rat killer. Sodium fluoride is entirely different from calcium fluorophosphate, which is needed by our bodies and provided by nature." So here we've got one of the most toxic substances on the planet that we are absorbing through our skin and drinking through our water. And here's some fun facts. Fluoride is so toxic, it's considered hazardous waste by the EPA. Hitler once fluoridated the water in the concentration camps to sedate prisoners and dull their minds. And fluoride's been used since the 1800s in rat poison. So, more recently being replaced by safer blood thinners in case of accidentally ingested by humans or animals. I mean, according to Dr. Bill Osmondson, there's the same amount of fluoride in a cup of fluoridated tap water as a pea-size amount needed, if ingested, to call the Poison Control Center, as recommended on the back of the fluoridated toothpaste. So it reached a point of idiocracy, and people are putting it in the most absorbable part of their body, in their mouth. This is insanity. But according to Dr. McCullough, now we've got fluoride in our antibiotics as well. And if you really want to know why they're dumping poison into our water and into our medicine, then watch a great documentary called The Great Culling. So what can we do to stop it? Well, stop drinking municipally treated water for one. Stop eating fluoridated toothpaste or absorbing it in your mouth, and start eating a diet which will assist in the decalcification of the pineal. And so here's some ancient foods that help decalcify the pineal gland, and also they happen to be foods that are high in boron. Eating boron is a great way to decalcify the pineal gland. In 1942, Stanley and Merkovich discovered that the destruction that was caused by fluoride can be counteracted by eating boric acid. You can get the liquid mineral boron drops, or a more inexpensive solution is to take 1/4 to 1/8 teaspoon of borax along with a pinch of sea salt in your water each day. Foods that are high in boron are avocados, yum, prunes, raisins, almonds, of course organic, because they're the most pesticide-laden thing if they're not organic, hazelnuts, and dates. And now we come to one of my favoriteest foods, which is raw cacao. It is one of the highest antioxidant foods there is, along with chaga mushroom. But if pineal activation is dependent in part to the vascularization or oxygen and blood flow, then it only makes sense that cacao should be utilized as a tool to bring more blood flow and oxygen to the pineal. Cacao contains high levels of nitric oxide, which is capable of increasing blood vessels by 30%. Raw cacao actually contains copious amounts of theobromine, which literally means food of the gods. It's in all cacao, but larger amounts in the raw cacao because it's not roasted. It is still fermented. It is still ground and crushed and minimally processed, but we have to realize that the fats of the chocolate can preserve more of these higher aspects of the cacao, like the phenylethylamine, the PEA, or the love chemical, or the anandamide, which is the bliss chemical. And there's way more psychoactive compounds present in the outside of the cacao bean, actually in this white fleshy part that we get to experience right from the pod, right from the farm. More of these psychoactive, probably pineal awakening compounds than we can experience in the roasted form and actually inside the bean. So obviously cacao gets me excited so much I even wrote a book on it called The Raw Chocolate Diet. And in there we discover, many of the other benefits that it doesn't matter if it's, roasted, they still come through, like chromium and magnesium and zinc. And but it's important to note that, fermented or unroasted cacao, fermented and unroasted, actually has 300 to 400% more of these antioxidants than the actual roasted form, which is pretty exciting to be able to utilize in this pineal awakening protocol. As some of you may know, I'm the founder of a superfoods brand called Medicinal Foods, and all of the raw chocolate products, the chocolate covered macadamia nuts, mulberries and almonds, the lovers bars and the CBD bar, all have this shaman's blend, which is a supporting group of superfoods: maca, mucuna, ashwagandha, chlorella, and spirulina, some of which were what ancient cacao shamans would go village to village and grind up into their pasta de cacao or cacao paste. And because chocolate is such a great delivery system for medicine. So some other medicinal foods that can help activate the pineal are garlic, oregano oil, apple cider vinegar, and MSM. MSM is so powerful at breaking up calcification in the body. It's used in every cell of our body. It helps keep the cells springing back to life. And we get it, it's in lots of different foods, but the best way is just get the supplement MSM from the health food store. You can't take too much of it. It's the MSM is a powdered version of DMSO, which the powdered version is very safe to take, and it is incredible for so many different aspects of your body. Some herbs that are helpful in awakening the pineal, especially the essential oil of chamomile, pine bark, lavender, indigo bark, violet, and eating licorice root and ginseng as well, or making tea out of it. There is another medicinal foods product that I recommend to enhance meditation. I made it as a Shen tonic, a premier Shen formulation. Shen is equated with the light that goes out of the candle, or like your aura. And tonic herbs were received in copious amounts by herbalists, so that's why we made like a pure herbal formula with that I made for meditation, but a lot of people use it for sleep to kind of quiet the monkey mind, and that's called the Spirit Tonic. You can check it out in the link below. And lastly, if we're going to talk about the highest antioxidant food being cacao, we should probably talk about the highest antioxidant herb or medicinal mushroom, the chaga mushroom. It's got the superoxide dismutase, a very powerful antioxidant that's super high on the ORAC antioxidant level. And known as the gift from God by the Siberians, the diamond in the forest by the Japanese, and the king of plants by the Chinese, we got a hold of some of this with medicinal foods that's grown in a lab, full spectrum. That means it's got the mycelium, the fruiting body, the primordia, and the spore, because we use some wild crafted as well, harvested at every stage of the life cycle. And I just gotta plug this stuff a little bit because it's so amazing for the immune system with all the beta glucans and immune building polysaccharides, but it's also got like anti-tumor ergosterols and antiviral phytosterols. So check out the chaga mushroom in the link below. Another honorable mention as far as shrooms go would be the cordyceps, because the cordyceps is so oxygenating, and we're talking about bringing more blood flow and oxygen to the pineal. I used to have a health history filled with asthma, lung infections, and I was sick a lot. That's kind of what led me on my discovery of path of health and wellness. And now after barely being able to breathe and barely being able to dive down in the ocean out here in Hawaii, just maybe 5-10 feet max, now I free dived over 100 feet and holding my breath for over 3 minutes. So it definitely noticed the oxygenation ability and also the energy. I mean, I have tons of energy on this stuff. It's a performance enhancer. It's used in sports, but cordyceps has been over harvested in the Himalayas, and now it's grown in a lab in low temperature and low oxygen environment to simulate those Tibetan highlands. The cordyceps in the past has gone for $35,000 a pound, and this now with modern growing techniques we can bring it to you at a fraction of the cost. Now the highest antioxidant supplement there is mega hydrate. It's created by the Einstein-level genius Patrick Flanagan, a scientist and child prodigy who created patents for NASA when he was 12 years old, wrote the first book on pyramid power, and created a dolphin-human translation machine. And this stuff is really powerful. It is, in fact, tens of thousands of times more potent than vitamin C, which the molecule of ascorbic acid, vitamin C, is the size of a football stadium compared to this mega hydrate molecule. Each of them give up a negatively charged hydrogen electron, which is the essence of free radical scavenging. But the mega hydrate is the size of a dot in your hand if you're standing inside the football stadium. And when the football stadium vitamin C molecule gives up its electron, it becomes a free radical, and the body has to get rid of it. And that's why you get the runs when you take too much vitamin C. So obviously the mega hydrate molecule can go to every nook and cranny of your body. In this case, we're talking about the pineal, and do its magic. In fact, it alkalizes the entire bioterrain. I did some work with Dr. Patrick Flanagan 20 years ago in dark field microscopy, which is where you prick your finger and look at your blood. Most people's blood is thick and coagulated, like on this image on the left-hand side, flowing like ketchup, whereas 20 minutes later, after taking the mega hydrate, it begins flowing like wine. We also receive an abundance of negatively charged hydrogen electrons from the earth when you go out barefoot on the earth with the grounding technology of being able to just receive these ions from the earth. It's also abundant in fresh fruits and vegetables as soon as they're picked, and then it starts dissipating. So if you've ever had fresh squeezed orange juice and you just feel that surge of energy, a lot of it has to do with the negatively charged hydrogen electrons that are abundant in citrus. So, Obviously, this isn't my product, but I just like promoting anything that works, and I do sell it at the medicinal-foods.com. I also get a whole lot of energy when I take this stuff, and it's not bad having the world's most powerful antioxidant supplement in your corner. Another little trick is to take this before you go on your plane ride, and you'll just eliminate jet lag if you take it before and after your flight. So Mega Hydrate by Dr. Patrick Flanagan. Go for it. Now, if you're interested in receiving my full Pineal Awakening protocol, go on over to medicinal-foods.com, click on the Freebies tab, and just download it for free. Then you get everything in a PDF that you can, follow along with. And, let me know what your experiences are. I have people come to me all the time that some of these people don't even have access to that inner vision that is really all of our birthrights, to be able to use our imagination, to manifest, to align ourselves with that timeline that is where we ideally want to be in this life. It takes some visualization. For those who can visualize and already use it as a tool, by awakening our pineal gland, I believe we can increase our ability to connect with our higher self, to have lucid dreams. I mean, when I've been doing some of these things, I've definitely noticed an easier ability to drop in with my meditation, to set the tone for my days. Yes, the world is waking up, and we literally have just gotten the highest spike in the Schumann resonance, or the Earth frequency, that's ever been recorded. So these are exciting times, and it's now more time than ever to get our internal world together. And doing the inner work is what these awakening protocols are all about. So it's time to rise to the occasion and get our inner game on. Please grab that full Pineal Awakening protocol, and I'm glad to have been able to share some of this with you. Bye for now.